real stuff. Now to our fun things, we have a whole list of fake awards. As we said, all these new awards this year for the NBA in real life, we're giving trophies dedicated to certain players. The MVP is Michael Jordan trophy. The Defensive Player of the Year is the Hakeem Olajuwon trophy, things of that nature. So it inspired us to make up other trophies based on other players and teams to give out as well. So first off, for example, we have the best dunker, which is the Vince Carter trophy. I can go first on that. I think we may all agree. One, actually, I got two guys. We may actually give it a co-vote for this one. Let me start to pull it up real quick. First off, of course, because of what he did in the dunk contest, we got Mac McClung. Had to give him love, and for his one moment that definitely deserves praise. But for all year though, the dunks Ja was doing in game were ridiculous this year, low key. Last year there were a couple of games where he almost did a couple of dunks and missed it. The ball got loose or whatever. This year he was finishing them. Like this dunk in this picture, what he did against the Pacers, I think it was, bringing it all the way back. It shut down NBA Twitter for a few days. Like it was ridiculous, and he just continues to show a crazy athleticism. And yeah, I think they both are deserving of this first award. So our first dunker of the year, giving the Vince Carter trophy, is a co-MVP. Salute to Mac McClung for what he did in dunk contest, bringing it back, saving it, as we say in a way, and then Ja for what he did all year long. Any agreement in that, or anybody else you want to mention?
Yeah, I like both those picks, and I just would add Shaedon Sharpe to that. I think his bounce has been insane, and he's had great putback dunk highlights and just rising up over people as well too. So I think I put Shaedon Sharpe there as well.
Sure, very good stuff there. I appreciate that. Vic, any comment on that real quick?
I'll just say with Ja, it's been a while since I saw a player in the league that every time he gets up is like truly you hold your breath because you don't know what the heck's going to happen. I say that as a good and a bad thing. I mean, when Ja rises up, it's straight cinema, man. It's poetry in motion. It's truly beautiful to see. A beautiful version of basketball, and it's ferocious. It's aggressive. It's so interesting to see, but on the flip side, I hold my breath for Grizzlies fans and for Ja himself. He gets up there kind of recklessly sometimes. No plan to come down, there's no exit plan with Ja. He goes straight up. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
So I want him to be a little more careful on the way down, but I mean, how do you tell a dunker like that, a high flyer, to a young guy too? And clearly, Ja is kind of a risky guy. We don't have to get into the off-court right now. But
come on, man.
Judgment is sus. But yeah, dude, Ja Morant is the most exciting dunker I've seen. Not even this season. I mean, in years.
In a few years, yeah, I agree. So definitely great stuff there. Moving on to more fun stuff. One I wanted to get to first off before we get more into actual basketball. The AI best dressed trophy had to give a guy a shout out for that. AI originally, we discussed it when we first did this. It was the Russell Westbrook trophy because of what he's done in recent years. But understanding the AI was one that paved the way for Russ and all the guys that we're going to see today. I think we had to make sure we dedicated one to AI. Definitely salute to him. And yeah, definitely believe. Actually, this year, while Russ continued on doing his thing, Shea has been a figure in fashion now for a little while and continue to put on great outfits going into each game and was very deserving. That along with, I don't have it here, but his IG captions to go with it and all of that, it made all his fashion very fun. So definitely had to give Shea this award. He's become really emerging into a superstar for our eyes, both on and off the court. So salute to him. If y'all have any note on that, if you want to throw in Kuzma or somebody like that real quick, go ahead.
My quick note was just Dylan Brooks. I think the perm sealed it for me. That last week of the NBA where he pulled out a couple fits that week, but the perm outfit for sure with the coat, that was hilarious. So I gotta give Dylan Brooks some love there.
I'm cool with that. Now going on to another one, kind of back onto the court.
Oh wait, real quick.
Go ahead.
Kuzma note: they did a bobblehead of
him in the sweater.
With the pink sweater with the long sleeves.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
I thought that was sick.
Kuzma with the huge coat was hilarious too. Yeah. So
I need to get me one of those bobbleheads. I need to hit eBay after. I think that's awesome.
I need those boots that Shea had too.
The red
boots. Or the big cap that guys were wearing too.
The big cap. I need me a big cap. No cap. I need a big cap.
For sure.
No cap. I need a big cap. Yeah, definitely fun stuff. Moving on to our next award, more of a fun one that we may have some different picks on. I gave this trophy to Paul George because of how he bounced back from his injury. He had a very notable leg injury a while back and has come back and has reemerged himself as a top player in the league. So comeback player of the year, which is not an official award in the league for whatever reason. But I gave it the Paul George trophy for now. We talked about Grant Hill and other guys like that could have been in consideration. I think Matt even brought up Sean Livingston. I think there's somebody like that. But any of those guys could have been named this trophy after. But for the Paul George trophy for now, comeback player of the year, who you guys have?
Go ahead, Alec.
I actually don't have one. I don't have one yet.
Also, like,
I was trying to think, just looking because I'm freestyling a bit on these, but I couldn't.
For a league full of injuries, nobody bounced back notably to you.
Well, it's weird because it's like, I don't know, with load management and stuff, and like guys are injured, but you're kind of like, how injured are they really? And like,
right.
What's a true bounce back for someone? I don't know. I was also kind of struggling thinking about this. Like,
I'll give one then. Again, it may not fully count to you guys, but he is someone that was given a nickname because of how much he was hurt. But Anthony Davis, with what he did this year, bouncing back, he was injured, and street clothes and all that kind of stuff.
With that, I thought you were going to say Kawhi too, so I could see AD.
Kawhi very well could work as well, but Anthony Davis, though I got my jokes about the Lakers all season and all of that, and he did bounce back strong, had a good end to the season, continuing that on, and we'll see how it goes in the playoffs as well. But he was named that immediately came to mind in that. Though Paul George himself and others, though Paul George got hurt again, Paul George and others could have been
That's what I say about AD. He did miss 25 games or whatever too, but when he was on the court, of course, as we always know, when he's on the court, he can be a top 5 guy. So
right. Hey, 25 games for AD, you'll like take that as a win, dude.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
The bar is the floor right now. Relatively, AD has stayed. You know, I'm knocking on all the wood in this. AD's been healthy. Knock on all the wood you can. All right.
We need him. Yeah, he's key. He's key.
Need him on the floor for sure. I think that's a great pick, G. I wasn't even thinking of it like that, but Anthony Davis has stayed relatively healthy, and I think we need to give him a little bit of appreciation. And some of the games he's missed were precautionary too. Like we were kind of sitting him out those back-to-backs. Like he was healthy, but the team doctors were like, nah, need to save you for the playoff run. So I'll hop on the Anthony Davis bandwagon because I couldn't think of one either. I don't know. It didn't feel like a big comeback year for the NBA. Like I was thinking of guys that came off of bad injuries like an ACL or I guess Achilles is tough to come back from in the NBA, but it happens sometimes. Or like a torn quad. I don't know. I can't think of one right now. But
yeah,
I like the AD pick.
Yeah, so that works for right now. So moving on, the last semi-real one would be we originally called it the Shooter Award, but it didn't feel like it was the right thing to call it. So we changed the name to the Marksman Award, and that was given the Kyle Korver Trophy. It could have been Steph or somebody like that. It could have been JJ Redick or other guys, but Kyle Korver immediately came to mind as that was he was very synonymous as that role across a few teams throughout his career. So the Kyle Korver Marksman Award, who you guys have for that one?
Go for it, Vic.
Luke Kennard is shooting like almost 50% from 3.
Yeah.
I had to look that up because I didn't believe it.
Yeah, I know.
49.4% from 3. And dude, I think the Clippers kind of messed up trading him. Like I
don't think they utilized him well. So maybe it was better for his benefit.
They didn't, and he doesn't play defense. Like that's kind of, some of these like marksman 3-point shooter guys, they're not the best defenders. Like they're good 3 for 3 and D. They got the 3 part down. The D is kind of a little sus, but anyways.
Hey, come on, man.
I didn't say nothing.
No, I saw G look at me immediately. No, I think it's Luke Kennard, but I want to give Kevin Huerter a shout out also because he's the perfect shooter to put alongside that Fox Sabonis 2-man. And I also had Huerter, shout out the fantasy guys, in both of my fantasy leagues. He's been fantastic. He scores at a very steady rate. He shoots a lot of threes. He makes a lot of threes. And Kevin Huerter's also like bought into the whole Sacramento vibe. He's one of the guys that loves to light the beam. They released a video. It's like, who loves to light the beam the most? And everyone was like, Kevin Huerter. So shout out Kevin Huerter for being the perfect 3-point shooter for SAC in their run they're making, buying into the city. I'm going to give the award to Luke Kennard because he's just objectively, I think, the best shooter. But Kevin Huerter's my favorite marksman, Kyle Korver type beat in the NBA.
Got it. Yeah, a strong pick. I almost went with him as the Sacramento guy. I wanted to pick him, but I love the bounce back that Clay had actually this year. So I actually went with him. I think Clay being able to do a bounce back could have been a guy to consider for comeback player of the year with all the injuries he's kind of gone through. Though he did come back kind of last year though. But yeah, Clay and what he did, I think he got past 300 made 3 points this year again, something like that. He got up a whole lot of threes this year, and definitely he's the quintessential marksman of this era. So definitely want to salute him and want to make sure he's considered for this award. So all those guys are great. Clay, Luke, Kevin, how you want to go? Any other names you want to throw in there, Alec?
I was gonna say Vic said black man can't shoot. He went with the true marksman, and it is Vic. So I'm playing.
It's the Kyle Korver Award, brother.
Staying on brand. That's all it is.
No, I like both of Vic's picks. I like your pick too, G. I would also throw like Desmond Bane in there. He was one of the higher guys in 3-point percentage as well. And then another marksman we joked about, Lauri Markkanen. I would throw his name in the hat there just for the namesake because he's also the marksman. So, but yeah.
All right, all the semi-real stuff is out the way now. Now getting more into the fun stuff. Here we go. Where is this picture at? Let me make sure I get it right first for us. Because I want to make this all loaded up proper. Where is this bum at?
Jesus.
Alex gonna love this. So first off, of course, when we really here for the most, our Trick Yall MVP dedicated to Chris Paul, as Alec loves to call. We have this guy who people seem to have elevated into high status, people that could be made considered a superstar level or close to it, but never seems to quite put it together as he's heralded to be. So who you guys have as your Trick Yall MVP? Our first Trick Yall MVP of 2023. Alec, I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Yeah, I'm freestyling a little bit, but this might be a controversial take. But I'm gonna go with Damian Lillard on this one. I think he might have tricked y'all into thinking that he wants to compete.
Wait. Hold on. Quick timeout though.
Go for
it. You
it.
can't think he's your Trick Yall MVP and have him second team All NBA.
Oh, I can. He's got the numbers. Like he's got the numbers for it. So, but that's why I think he's tricked y'all. Maybe he's tricked me too. No, but I think he's clearly an all NBA level talent. He clearly can still put up those numbers. But he hasn't taken the steps to get have a team around him that's viable for competing for a championship. Obviously, a lot of the onus is going to be on the organization to put players around him that can help him win in Portland. But it's been so many years of them not doing that and him just kind of riding along and saying, we got to do better. We got to do something to compete kind of thing. And it's like, dude, like you should see the writing on the wall by this point. I love loyalty. I love sticking with the franchise, trying to do the Kobe blueprint or the Dirk blueprint. But if he truly like wants a ring, he's got to put way more pressure, at least on the Blazers, because they're not going to win a ring the way it's going.
Got it. I'm cool with that. With your explanation, that works for me. A guy that, in a way, it hurts to say I'm a fan of his. But seeing how the last game they just played actually went, and them not making the playoffs, I have a guy here, Zach LaVine, who I mentioned earlier on in the year.
Oh, man.
I like his game. He's a good guy. People for a while tried to do the whole Zach LaVine, Devin Booker kind of comparison.
I don't like this pick.
He has not quite put together like we have hoped. Yes, there's other explanations reasoning that could be going on. I know about Lonzo's injuries and all that kind of stuff. But they were a top seed for a while, and people had high hopes for them, and they've never quite put together. We've wanted Zach LaVine to really shine and see the talent that he has, but it's never quite come together. So as a guy who has superstar potential but never quite gets there, I had to mention him sadly. Though I definitely do believe he can bounce back. I'm going forward. But a quick thought on that, and then Vic, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I have a unanimous trick, y'all, and it's Rudy Gobert. And
okay. Now we're talking.
That's for a couple different reasons, man. There we go. Had it queued up.
Yep.
And part of it is that trade. I saw it on Twitter the other day. Oh my goodness. It's so much worse than whatever you remember. I promise you it's twice as bad.
Zoom in on that face. Yep.
Twice as there we go. Hey, the look you give your teammate when you're about to throw a punch. That's that look right there. That's that look.
Oh my God.
Rudy Gobert is turning into a crybaby. I don't know if you saw those.
He's been a crybaby, my guy. He was the one crying about all-star teams. Legit tears.
Never mind. Not turning into. I guess he's getting worse. Did you see that quote where he's like, the league tries to help teams like the Lakers, the Suns, like.
Oh yeah, no, that was a nasty soundbite.
Tries to help them win. I'm like, bro, stop trying to have a cop out for why.
He said they're trying to help the Kings.
Yeah, they're trying to help the Kings. I said, brother, they haven't been to the playoffs in years. Believe me, they're not trying to help the Kings. If anything, they're trying to hurt the Kings. I think Rudy Gobert. I think his production is like 11 rebounds this year, but like you kind of expect that out of Rudy Gobert.
You're 7'9", so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it fits that well next to Cat. Obviously, locker room, sus in the locker room. Like, he's just a weird guy. And I just think Rudy Gobert, maybe it's not even a trick. Y'all, he tricked the front office for the T-Wolves.
Yep, yeah. Maybe the worst trade we've seen in decades. Like, it's been very, very bad trade. When you look at the haul again, it's like, wow, they gave up so much.
Him back. No, I agree. So I'm going Rudy Gobert. I think he tricked anyone and maybe no one still believes in him, but he definitely tricked the Wolves front office.
Yes.
So that's my trick Yall MVP. Rudy Gobert, fraudulent. I'll end it there.
Love it.
Got it. Okay. I'm fine with all of those. I get why y'all kind of booed my pick because Zach did still have a solid year. But I definitely hear what y'all saying about Dame and Rudy there because they definitely were very controversial all year long and had not quite lived up to had not had the success that we wish they had. So be it with all those guys. Hopefully they bounce back. Rudy's still in the playoffs of all people. So we'll see if he does anything. But yeah, definitely they had us fooled this year. Now, kind of going the opposite way on a more positive first, going towards teams, we have first off, last year there was all the love with the Charlotte Hornets. People love their analysts. He was screaming every time they do a lob and all kinds of stuff.
He's great.
They quickly became what people called a league pass team to watch. So in that same way, I want to know who you guys have as your league pass team of this year.
Yeah. I'll keep it short. I think it's easily the Kings with how they played this year. The whole environment that they have with lighting the beam. It was the whole atmosphere. The whole city of Sacramento was lit this entire year. And they played as De'Aaron Fox was the clutch player of the year. Very clutch team. And then a close second for me is the team they went 176 to 175. Was the Clippers. I think they're right there too. After getting rust, because I think the pace ticked up a ton, and then they started playing high octane basketball as well. So, but the Kings are for sure get the nod for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, obviously I've been in love with them and enjoying what they're doing. And yeah, they've been a very fun team to watch this year. As Alec pointed out, so all that he said, just very fun. And I'm excited to see how they put on for in the playoffs as well. So great stuff there. Definitely agree with that. What you think?
I kind of have a weird take on this one. I'm going to take like a national perspective. I know we're in LA, but I'm kind of going to say the Lakers. I'm going to say the Lakers because.
Oh wait, no. No. The Lakers are on national TV every year, every single game.
I know they are. My more low key team
that does not work.
My more low key team is the Thunder. I guess that kind of fits the bill more for this young guys. But I guess I'll say the Lakers because if you don't,
you almost gave G an aneurysm.
I'm saying the Lakers because like if you don't live in LA, I know there's hella nationally televised games, but like it is drama every night with the Lakers. It's drama every like even the Monday night games that aren't nationally televised. It's like down to the wire every single game. The Lakers have been a roller coaster this year, so I know that's a weird take, but I'm only saying that because it's truly dramatic. The entire Lakers season. I mean, the first half was dramatic for the wrong reasons. We lost so many games where up by 5 with a minute left, up by 10 with 2 minutes left. And it's just always drama with the Lakers on the court, off the court. That's what I'll say, Lakers.
I will say both Lakers games that I went to live this year went to OT against the Celtics and then against the Sixers, and they were great games. But I think Vic is the true Lakers homer here now. Like we used to be a Lakers podcast, but Vic.
I try not to talk about the Lakers too much.
Man, that's an obvious pick. Everybody knows the Lakers are our top dots, and we all are watching them already. That's a given. I was trying to shine a light on more of the underrated teams that don't get as much TV time. And here you go with the team with the most natural televised games across the league. Trying to explain. We already know that's why they have the most natural televised games. So yeah, definitely them. I get what your explanation was. But for more underrated team, what my thought was the Kings were great and low key and ended up winning a lot of games, which made them a great success. A team that wasn't quite winning games, but still was entertaining, actually was the Magic, someone I wanted to mention. Paolo and what he was doing there. Franz Wagner was good. Started the year. Bol and what he was doing was fun to watch. Markelle Fultz found his footing as the year went on. So a team like that, who is a team that we don't actually all know and continue to watch all year long already, a team like that is a team I wanted to shine more of a light on. So salute to them and their turnaround. I know Paolo is on a mission to get them back in good standing. So yeah, teams like that, I want to make sure we shine more light on as well. So good stuff there, but I do get what Vic at least was trying to say. It was just funny based on what the criteria was supposed to be, but so be it. Moving on though, now more back to the fun things. Though Alec brought them up, let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
Let's try to speed these last few up too.
Yeah, exactly. So though Alec brought them up as a fun team to watch, team at least with a tough pass, at least I'll say, was the LA Clippers. So for our team, for our Fool's Gold Award, a team that always has high hopes, a team that we always see potentially being a finals contender, but never quite getting there. Who you have this year as your Fool's Gold team of the year?
I think it would be Denver, sadly, them being the 1 seed. But real quick, I could see the Lakers being the 7 and being highly favored to win this series by a lot of people.
That's what I had. That's what I had.
Yeah.
You had the Lakers as Fool's Gold?
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it.
But Lakers homer again. I think a lot of people still had question marks after last year. So like I think people were still kind of like, I got to see the Lakers play it out with Russ. It was not a success last season. So
right. Let's not even go that far back then. Alec yelled at us the last episode. They're 17-7 since the trade deadline.
That's the best record. That's the best record in the NBA.
That's great. And again, that's great to see in the regular season. Cool stuff. I don't think it's going to carry on in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make a run all the way to the finals. So again, there's all this hype that they flipped and they found the formula, their top 5 and all this stuff.
Hey, G is hating too much. I said they could be Fool's Gold, but defense wins championships too. So they got a legit
good defensive team.
So again, you're adding into more reasons why they should be a great team. I'm telling you, it's not going to get there. So I think they're Fool's Gold. So they're my pick, and I'm leaving it at that. So yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
Here's one we can all agree on: the Dallas Mavericks.
There we go.
Well, they're gone. I have them for one of the other. I have them for one of the other
for sure. That's my Fool's Gold. Everyone roasted the Lakers for not making the Kyrie trade, and everyone praised the Mavericks, rightfully so, maybe, for making that trade and pairing Luka with Kyrie. To miss the play-in is one of the bigger failures I've seen in a while in the NBA. I think Fool's Gold for sure. I never fully bought in on this team. Awful on defense.
For sure.
And they traded some of that depth that was very key for them for Kyrie. And that's the trade-off, right? Is like sometimes you got to trade that depth.
Din
Shitty, man. I mean, but
the Din Shitty effect.
I mean, Din Shitty took him to the Western Conference Finals. So I'm going Fool's Gold, the Mavericks. I think a lot of people were very high on them. Especially after the trade, and it just clearly never panned out. So Dallas Mavs, Fool's Gold.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with the awards, and I'll say that they're my team for the Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda award as well. I think it's Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda because the front office can say if we didn't make that move, we'd be in the playoffs maybe comfortably. Just with having the depth and the defense of Dorian Finney-Smith as well. So yeah, I think they're a Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda.
I definitely hear that. Mine actually was the Pelicans, who the award actually was named after. They could have got Zion a better nutritionist or some shit. I don't know. Somebody get that man back on the court. I don't know what's going on. Why they keep holding him up. One moment they say
if we had shut down Zaxby's, maybe.
Yeah, if they had shut down Zaxby's, no Mardi Gras this year. Zion and his team flying through the playoffs, but so be it. He has not been able to get his injuries and health fully back under control. As a result, he's been continuing to miss a whole lot of games, and this team has showed great flashes. This team was top tier at the beginning of the season and was a team that Alec had Zion as potentially as an MVP candidate, things of that nature. But for whatever reason, things have fallen apart. As soon as one injury comes, it's a ripple effect, and he's unable to stay on the court, and the season fell apart with it. So, yeah, a team that we had high hopes for fool's gold, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Either way, I think this Pelicans squad fits right into perfectly both of those slots there. So, yeah, definitely wanted to highlight that real quick.
Agreed. The only thing I'll say about this, I have the same team as G. It's the Pelicans, and it really comes down to Zion. A lot of people are comparing Zion to Embiid, the games missed at the beginning of their careers, the first 3 seasons or 4 seasons.
The injury-riddled seasons, yeah.
Right. Here's the difference, though, is like Embiid's was nagging, but he didn't have a weight. The problem with Zion is like he can't play at that weight. Not the way he plays. He cannot play at that weight. He has to cut down to a more manageable weight. And I don't know if he ever will. And I don't think he'll ever stay healthy at the current weight he's at. And that's the biggest shoulda, coulda, woulda is like, is he going to do it? Because if Zion plays, the Pelicans make a huge jump, in my opinion. And they have pieces, but I don't know.
Yeah, so sad to see, but it is what it is. So we'll see how he's able to bounce back going forward if he ever does. So interesting.
You all right there, buddy?
There, Jesus Christ, good talk. But anyways, the last 2 more on a positive note, real quick. We talked about 2 teams that are fool's gold or coulda, shoulda, woulda. What team impressed you the most this year? Who was the too legit? I called it award. I couldn't figure out what name to call it, but a team that may not have had high expectations or mid-level expectations and far exceeded what they did. Who you guys got, real quick?
As Vic said, the one clear juggernaut, the Bucks.
Well, the Bucks were already a finals championship team and all that. What are you talking about?
That's it. You said what? What did you say?
The too legit? You talking about?
Oh.
Well, what do you mean?
Oh, okay. Oh, G's saying like a team that didn't have high expectations.
Oh, that didn't have high expectations?
No, that did not have high expectations.
Like overperformed. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because Alex said Bucks, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, the Bucks are
I didn't realize that was your reasoning, like that didn't have high expectations. Okay, but
exceeded expectations. Yeah, that far exceeded expectations, like minimum type teams.
I mean, I guess you're Kings. Do you want
to say the Kings?
You want to make this the Kings Award?
I didn't want to say the Kings. I was going to say a team like the Cavs or somebody like that as well. Those teams, the Knicks, stayed afloat again. Like, we thought the Knicks might fall off. The Knicks back and play well. There are other teams that were in that mix. It's not.
I don't think. The thing is, I don't think any of these teams are legit. So, like, I think they're all good.
Going to the playoffs and all that, that's totally fine. But as of today, for exceeding expectations, I think other teams can be noted for being better than you can even say the Thunder. The Thunder was supposed to be a tanking squad and at least made the play-in. Things like that just exceeded what we thought they were going to do. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's better than expected award for sure. Kings, Cavs, Knicks. I'm good with that. Yeah.
Sure. That's all. I was trying to throw them some love. That's all it was. So yeah, good stuff there. Vic, do you have any name real quick?
No, I think there's some overlap with that. Like we're giving the Kings their flowers and the Thunder their flowers. I like you mentioning the Knicks and the Cavs. That again, we already talked about the playoffs. I'm excited to see that matchup. But I think that's 2 Eastern Conference teams that are going to be prominent for a while. And I think it happened fairly quickly after LeBron left Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And also for the Knicks to go from just the definition of mid for worse than mid for so long to be relevant in New York again is a huge deal. So I definitely want to shout those teams out. Also, Brooklyn after the trade deadline, really played well after trading KD. So
they were below 500, by the way, but they did manage the ship. Like they still landed the plane. They still landed the plane. KD did most of the work.
Right, being the 6th seed, like I think they kept the ship afloat when it could have been easy to kind of just like roll over. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll give them credit for not doing that and like being the 6th seed at the end of the year. So yeah, give some love to the Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah. You brought the New York squad. We saw them the Knicks from the playoffs last year, how riled up their fans were, trolling Trae Young and all that kind of stuff. And with that, we forgot real quick just the Troll Award for our first ever Pat Bev Troll Award. Who you guys have? Is Pat Bev the winner this year of that award with all he was doing, or you want to give it to somebody else?
It's probably Dylan Brooks. I mean, like he became the villain of the NBA, so probably Dylan Brooks. Yep.
He's the troll. He's like the villain. Dylan Brooks is like really embracing this villain thing, and I hate Dylan Brooks, but I like that we have a true NBA villain.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's fun.
I agree. I'm with you on that. So definitely fun things there, entertaining things there. Brought Pat Bev as this was his award with all he's been doing. He also has been podcasting a little bit as all the NBA players are doing. So our final thing here,
real podcast, P.
Right, real podcast, all of that. So our last award, real quick, as we get out of here, is that who you guys have as your favorite player podcast of this year?
I still think for me it's a retired player in JJ Redick, but
Vic, I told you.
But G called it.
But podcast P just for the name.
Oh shit!
You lost your.
Hold on.
Get a little too excited over there, buddy. But I was gonna say podcast P just for the name, Paul George. He just came out with his like a couple months ago,
right?
And it's funny. I guess G made the joke yesterday about number of podcasts versus number of games played in the playoffs or whatever.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I'll throw podcast P in there for sure.
Got too excited, but yeah, definitely I gotta show Paul George love. I kind of hate on the Clippers yesterday, so I want to redeem myself. Salute to Paul George from the podcast P show. Salute to all the guys that got over there, Rutherford and dang, I'm missing on his name. My apologies. But the guy they have the co-host on there, my fault. But shout out to Paul George, what they got going there. Definitely entertaining things. They're already making big waves across media there. So cool things, and definitely salute to both of them for what they got going on. So yeah, definitely damn Pat Bev is cool too. And I enjoy
Draymond
the media side.
I like Draymond's podcast.
I can't say it. Draymond he just.
I've never listened to a Draymond pod. I always see the clips come up on my feed.
They show the clips. It's actually his podcast is kind of good, man. Like Draymond's Draymond, but like, you know, he's an interesting guy. Like he has a lot of thoughts. I mean, I don't agree with all his
lot of thoughts on LeBron. My Lord, that's all he talks about. I see.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
I think anybody else's name. Turned into the biggest LeBron meat writer out of anyone.
I think when Drake hosted the ESPYs, he had a shot at Draymond where he's like, "It's a tough listen." I agree.
All right. Admittedly, we have a hard out. We have somebody hitting us up. We have some big things we're making progress on. So we'll end with that. We definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. Sorry for the quick cut at the end like this, but definitely salute to Paul George and other guys we gave their awards to, and definitely excited to carry this on going on next year and beyond. So definitely fun things here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Vic, as always, for checking in with us. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Appreciate all the love. We back next week. A lot more fun things. We'll see. Again, we got hard out for a reason. We'll see if what we got working on right now comes to some fruition going forward. And yeah, just excited to keep this thing rolling. So again, apologies for the hard out, but we gotta go. Thank y'all for tuning in, man, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Deuces.